Hi everyone. What we're going to do right now is get oriented to the Adobe Illustrator 6 Workspace. Those of you who have used previous versions of Illustrator will note that this workspace is darker than those that came before it. My cat just sneezed. Anyway, that was a random aside. Anyway, here is the workspace. This is all of the contents within the Adobe Illustrator application and where you're going to spend the majority of your time. Up above, we have what is called the application bar right across here. Yours may look a little different than mine, but this area up here is called the application bar. And just below that is what's called the control panel. This generally gives you information on the object that you're working with. So for example, if you're working with a block of text, you're going to see some information up here that's specific to working on a text-based object as opposed to, for example, a graphic object like a circle or a square or an image. It appears that we're talking about the stroke or the line here as indicated by these items. But since there's nothing on the page, we're not going to have a lot of relevant information at this point. Over to the left is the tools panel. This is sort of essentially just as it sounds, your tools, your selection tool, and some other things that you'll be using when you maneuver about Illustrator to accomplish various assignments. Over on the right are your panels. This is a thumbnail to some extent of other. Okay, so over on the right are your panels. This image is a thumbnail of the panel beneath it. So when I click on this little object here that looks like a palette, we see that it pops out and we see something pertaining to color. We click on the button to snap it back in. And over here is your color guide. You're going to see some color reference. That's a tool you can use to get suggestions as to how you can use color. Here are your swatches and your brushes. Now I don't expect you to understand what these tools do, more or less to see how the tools panel and the panels themselves actually behave. What you'll find is that within each panel you're going to see some consistent little what we call conventions. This icon right here usually tells you that there is a menu underneath or a list of options that you can select from that's specific to those panels. And you can see here you have a tab within that panel, and you can also click here to a different tab within that panel. Down at the bottom you see other behaviors that can be performed. As you might suspect, that's a delete tool or a trash icon. Across the Adobe platform, this icon here means duplicate or copy or make another. So you'll want to pay close attention to that. And this one obvious is to clear or delete to wipe off the attributes that you've set for that particular object. So to snap the panel back in, I can do this. Or as you saw before, I merely press on the button here on the right to snap it in and snap it out. Okay, these panels are also detachable, so you can pull them around and put them someplace in the workspace. As you're maneuvering through your artwork, you might find that you have some clutter as these panels start to take on a life of their own, and you'll want to be able to move them about. Okay, so now unfortunately my workspace does not allow me to show you this area down here. My tool has got a boundary that is preventing me from being able to move it. Let's see if I can make some adjustments here. Oh, that's better. Okay, so silly me. This is what's known as the status bar, and this will tell you some information about the document that you're working on. This tells me that I'm currently viewing the document at 120% size, which means I'm about 21% larger than the actual finished size. So this is larger than it would appear if I were to print it or render it in an online environment at this point. And this tells you which artboard that you're on. We are on artboard number 1, and these, of course, you can move backwards through your artboards, go from 1 to 2, etc. And using your zoom tool or your page size tool here, you can actually maneuver to a different view size. So right now we could go to 200%. Let's see what happens. Our document grows in size so we can get a better look at it. Now, one thing to know about Illustrator and many tools that we use in technology are there's more than one way to skin the cat. It's just basically gives you multiple ways to get at functions within the program, whatever's convenient for you based upon the time of use. Okay? Have fun.